Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Welcome into Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Booner. As always, I do not lose, and when I lose, I still win. We've got Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter, on the desk as always. Co-host Jalen in the TD booth as always, and we got Nick.
Let's go,
DJ Nick. I kind of like that. Nick in the sound booth, DJ Nick.
I'm the ones and twos.
Hey, we've got a very packed show for you guys today. I'm very excited. Today, Dan Campbell press conference. RO Matthew Broder went into the Detroit Lions locker room and talked to a couple of the players today to kind of go over a few things. Jared Goff, Tracy Walker, Jahmyr Gibbs, everybody. I texted him this morning. He said, "Hey, Booner, what questions do you have? Who do you want me to talk to?" Every single player I texted him said, I said, number one, Tracy Walker, number two, Jahmyr Gibbs and Jared Goff, and he got it all in there, and he asked some questions for the people, a man of the people,
for the people, dude,
of the people. So, Broder, real quick, we want to tell the fans, hit that like button, please. But Broder, can you tell us a little rundown of the show?
Of course. We're going to do our usual, some trending topics here to open the show. We're going to give you a C.J. Gardner-Johnson update.
Huge one.
We're going to get into a little more of the injury report, kind of see how this week is playing out. Dan Campbell made some really interesting comments in his press conference today that are foreshadowing what this weekend and next Thursday might look like. So we're going to do that. We're going to play a couple of Dan Campbell's press conference clips. We're going to have a little face-off between Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yes.
I don't even want to tease what questions we're going to ask, but we're going to be talking about those two running backs, and obviously they're linked together with the draft, the 2023 NFL draft. So we'll get to that. 9 o'clock hour, we're going to do a segment just starting to give you a small little preview of that Atlanta Falcons game, because we got some sound bites from the players that reveal a little bit of their strategy, a little bit what they're thinking about moving forward. 9:15, we're going to talk about Penei Sewell. He also made some comments, and he, like Dan Campbell, they want to get back to some of the basics, back to their identity. Finally, 9:30, 9:40, near the end, we're going to go a little more around the NFL. We're going to talk about some trending topics around sports. You might hear Justin Fields' name pop up. You might hear their defensive coordinator's name pop up.
Wait. I banned that word yesterday on the show.
Defensive coordinator? Oh, the B word.
No, the J word.
J.
Well, you almost said it again.
Okay. Does he have a nickname?
That man in Chicago. Oh. We banned him on the show. That word, that name on the show.
I wonder how long he's gonna last. Is he even their quarterback of the now?
I don't know. I think he's done. I'm over it.
He's got this season, boys. Come on.
Because they don't have anyone else. What do they have? I don't know. Are they going to throw, I don't know, Khalil Herbert at quarterback?
I genuinely am curious.
I don't know who they have behind them, but it's just the fact that it's supposed to be this MVP caliber, and he was going to take that Jalen Hurts step, or that's all I kept hearing all offseason is, he slung the ball at Ohio State. He's not slinging the ball at Chicago, I'll tell you that. It's a completely different game. So,
Tyson Bagent.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. I forgot where he's from, but he's actually kind of
around has definitely made guys better, those around him better. And there again, just goes back to the injury question. Hey, man, we're fortunate we got Tracy, and he'll be ready to roll. And now some of that energy that slack's got to be picked up by the rest of the guys, man. It's got to come from somewhere else. And it doesn't have to come from one. It ought to come collectively is what it ought to do.
And, basically what he said there, and obviously we all know CJ is like a huge piece of this defense, heart of the defense. But on the injury side, we didn't have it in the clip there, but he did mention that when he did tear his pec, that it was a clean tear, I believe is the wording that he spoke. And as well as I forgot to send the graphic here about the quote that he had, and I can kind of pull it up here on Twitter.
But it was basically that it was a clean injury, which is normally a good thing when you're talking about an injury that needs surgery, like a clean break, a clean tear. It allows the doctors, the surgeons, to actually go in and completely repair it instead of kind of tinkering with it in your body. Instead of a weird rehab process, you can go and just completely fix it.
His quote was too as well. This is the big part here, Detroit Lions fans, One Pride Nation. This is exactly what we wanted to hear. I certainly think there's a chance that we get him back. So C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and I looked it up. I know yesterday I went down a little rabbit hole in my little conspiracy theories about T.J. Watt and how he had his and he was back in 2 months. T.J. Watt didn't have surgery. His was not enough to where he didn't have to have surgery. He was able to come back. Now his brother, J.J. Watt, same thing, had a torn pec, except for him, his was a clean tear as well, had surgery. And he was able to, I can't remember if they made the playoffs or not, but he ended up being cleared to play if they played in the playoffs, he was going to play. So that's the situation I think Dan Campbell and these guys are looking at is it's a clean tear. He's going to get surgery. It's going to heal. If it heals the right way and if it heals fast enough, and the Detroit Lions make the playoffs, you might see him in a wild card game. That's how I took it.
I would love that.
Good shit.
Oh, hey. Like me, and I think like many fans, we just want to see C.J. Gardner-Johnson in a Lions jersey again.
Yeah.
For me, I hope it's more than just this season. But
re-sign that man.
I know. Like there's got to be the energy, the excitement that he brought to this team. What's up, Easy? Thanks for joining the chat.
Shout out.
The ski mask boy.
Can we, yes, the heavyweight shirt today. I had to rock it.
Oh,
This is my first time ever wearing the heavyweight shirt. I've had it, and for some reason I don't know. Shout out QQ. I believe in Booner. I believe in you, QQ.
but
I don't know why, but I believe in you, QQ.
Yo, Booner, could you before we make a little pivot here,
let me tell you guys.
Tell them
about the Detroit Lions Insider Show with our own Matthew Broder. For all the insider scoop on your Detroit Lions, it is a Woodward and Maine show featuring Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matthew Broder, and the Detroit legend Terry Foster for all the inside information of the Detroit Lions, scoops that you need. Game days, it's Tuesdays from 7 to 8 a.m. and game days on Sundays from 8 to 9 a.m. You do not want to miss out. That is on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Wow. So yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, we're hoping he comes back by the end of the season. Got decent news from Dan Campbell as a clean break. Hopefully this surgery, which he's going to have, goes well, and maybe we see him in a couple months.
Yeah, just hopefully there's no setbacks. That's the biggest thing is like it's just a good recovery, no setbacks. To where hey, if you do win the North, or once you do win the North, in my opinion,
let's go.
And you're ready to go come that wild card, or if somehow you end up getting probably not a bye because that's the number 1 seed. It's tough, but maybe if you win your wild card game at home, you end up getting a C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. So
depends if that quarterback down in Chicago, if he continues to struggle. You never know. I mean, right now the Packers are technically in first place right now. The Bears and Vikings haven't looked very good. But
hey, shout out to Easy, too. He hates the Bears. Easy, I made a rule on the show, and there's no more. We cannot say the words JF, their quarterback.
Kennedy?
Banned. His name is banned on our show. Never again.
But, dude,
until he leaves the Bears.
Did you see his press conference? He was talking about how robotic he feels. He's got issues with the offense. It was a very strange press conference from such a young quarterback. There's definitely something going on in Chicago, and then you pair that with the news, the sort of confusing news that keeps breaking about their defensive coordinator, Alan Williams. Apparently it was Charles Tillman, a former Bears player who now works with the FBI. He contacted the leadership down in Chicago and basically made them aware that they're raiding this guy's house, Alan Williams' house, but we don't know the full details as to why yet.
It's weird, and there it is, Bears legend Charles Tillman, actually, who is currently an FBI agent, which is crazy, informed Chicago's upper management, including head coach Matt Eberflus, GM Ryan Poles, and President Kevin Warren about defensive coordinator Alan Williams' house being raided. And it sounded like the practice facility got raided as well. Who knows what it is? I don't know if this stuff is true. It's been going around the NFL all day today. It's one of the biggest stories. And he resigned this morning. And I mean, they don't have a defensive coordinator now. And Matt Eberflus probably will be their DC and kind of calling plays and running that defense going forward, which is just Chicago is
Say
a
it, it's a disaster.
right
Say what
now.
it is. It's a disaster.
It is a disaster. And I don't know if you guys saw, I know Broder, you mentioned the first interview that he had where he kind of blamed the coaches and he came out and said, I was struggling. They were telling me too many things. There's so much going on, which as a third-year quarterback, it's crazy to me to think that you just haven't gotten comfortable enough to be able to do things like that, like an elite quarterback should. But then he held another thing, press conference or whatever at his locker again today and backpedaled everything.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yes, and he came out and said, I didn't mean to blame the coaches. I will take full responsibility for myself. I'll never blame my teammates. I'll never blame my coaches. This is all on me. You guys took that out of context and didn't give the full quote, and everyone ran with it. So there's problems in Chicago, starting with Justin Fields. Now you see the coaching staff, everything. There's issues going all around there, man.
What happens when you hire a defensive-minded head coach when you get a what's supposed to be your franchise quarterback?
Yeah.
They got their offense isn't that. Like, I don't understand it.
I hope they go 0-17. I hope they do. Like, I know last year, it is jokes. A lot of us last year and the year before always would be, the Chicago Bears going 0-17. They're 0-2, and I just don't they're going to lose this week. They're going on the road to Kansas City. As bad as they are, they might be 0-16 going into that Cardinals game. I'm pretty sure they play the Cardinals like week 17.
I would prefer that Caleb Williams does not end up in the NFC North, but that's just me.
Great point. Well, maybe what will happen is, great scenario here, Booner.
They trade out.
Put your head together, Booner. They play the Cardinals. Let me see. They play the Cardinals week 16. And they're both 0 wins, and the Cardinals win that game, and they both lose out, and the Cardinals get the number 1 pick. Caleb Williams goes to the Cardinals. Man, I'm smart.
I'm down with that.
Man, I'm smart.
And then the Bears trade for Kyler Murray, and they just continue the process of shitty Bears quarterbacks. But Booner, I have to ask you a personal question. About how many hours of sleep do you get at night?
Right now, last night, let me think about this. Probably like 6 hours.
Twins.
6 hours. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a lot.
We do a late show, and I work early in the morning.
Yeah, hey, that's not a lot of sleep. There was a pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. His name was, and I hope I pronounced this right, Yusei Kikuchi, who it went kind of viral today. This was reported by Caitlin McGrath, who's a staff writer for the Athletic MLB covering the Blue Jays. Here we go. It says, Blue Jays starter Yusei Kikuchi thinks he'll be fine for his next start after he left the game with cramps. So coach came out to see him on the mound. He said he has cramps. The biggest revelation was that he said when his coach came out, actually he said this after, but the cramps may have been caused by only getting 11 hours of sleep last night instead of his usual 13 or 14 hours.
You see?
Yeah, apparently he goes to sleep at like 11 every night and wakes up at 1 p.m., like 1 or 2 p.m. And now he's blaming in-game cramps on not getting enough sleep.
Look, Broder. If I got that many hours of sleep a day, I'd be set. 14 hours? You shouldn't even want to sleep that long.
That's
impossible. And then he's in the league, too. Like, you can't sleep that long and still, do your workouts and your prep and everything. Like, that's just laziness, man.
It's impossible. Right now, if I try to sleep for 8 hours, like on a weekend or something, if I have a day off on a Saturday morning, my body wakes me up like 8 hours in. It's just like, Booner, wake up, and I'm up. So 14 hours? You're only awake for 10 hours in the day? Like, what is he like? That's unbelievable.
I don't understand it at all, but I thought it was worth sharing. Last thing I'm going to show you before we get to a break, the Red Wings. They revealed their training camp roster. We're going to start talking about them a little bit more, but they revealed their training camp roster, and it's going to be 7 days until their first exhibition game. So that season is sneaking up on us, and I actually think it's 24, 25 days before their regular season opener. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I don't know. I saw this on Twitter today and wanted to put it up. Wanted to at least tease little Red Wings content coming up here shortly.
Go Wings.
We do have the legend Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion,
trying to get D-Mac
who is
on the
an
show.
employee here at Woodward Sports and just an awesome guy. But we're going to be talking more Red Wings, Pistons, Tigers as this show develops. Right now, it's just big-time football. We got college football and the Lions that we're going to be talking about. So why don't you come back and join us right after this short break. We're going to be talking about a little more of these injuries. Dan Campbell in his press conference said some pretty interesting things about what he might expect out of his team, out of some of the guys who are injured already for the next week. But Nick has to tell you about Academy of Warren.
At Academy of Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art Sports Dome Fieldhouse that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. Also can be used for 7-on-7 football with grades K through 8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics. Now accepting new enrollment. Go to academyofwarren.net.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good, baby. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Outdoor Equipment Company. Let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Company real quick. Official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Yes, Michigan grown, family owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, style handhelds, and even weed whippers.
Weed whippers.
Liberty trailers, generic generators, snow plows, salters. Outdoor Equipment Co. has it all. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing. Delivery to your doorstep, outdoorequipco.com.
And we are back. This is Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. That's Booner. That's Booner. I'm Broder. I'm Matt Broder. We got Jalen in the TD booth.
Beat music.
We got Nick on the ones and twos in the sound booth. And we got an amazing chat that's rocking tonight. I see you, Tom Izzo. I see you, Coach Walk, Jack Harrington, Eric Burrow. I see Hips. Remember Jeff? Remember Jeffrey Brewster from last Friday?
Yes, is he here?
He's not here, but I just was thinking, oh, John Macaroon, the Doc.
The Doc's in here.
The Doc is in the building.
Let's go. Clap it up for the Doc.
Doc's one of those guys
Welcome.
we got to give a little clap to. That's my guy, one of the nicest guys around. And
Yes.
a Morency. We thank you all for being here. If you could hit that like, that really helps. Booner, Nick, Jalen, me, and this entire
I thought
network
you were just
out.
going to say it just helps me.
No, it does. I mean, it helps us all.
Oh, yeah.
We're a team. Teamwork makes the dream
What kind
work.
of team? The dream team?
No, it's like four brothers, remember?
Who's who again? You gotta say it for me.
I'm Andre 3000.
I'm Booner.
You're Mark Wahlberg, Jalen.
That works.
It's funny because in that graphic, in our thumbnail, I'm White Goodman from
Yeah,
from
can we talk about the thumbnail real quick?
Yeah. Shout out Ryan Lentz.
My character, whoever I am, I've seen that movie 100 times. I don't remember the name of the character.
Yeah.
One,
Fog.
I beat you in the tournament, destroy you in the
Vince
tournament.
Vaughn? Yeah.
And two, I get the girl at the end. I get the girl.
The girl gets the girl, too.
Oh, she does.
Let's not forget about that. What a twist at the end.
Oh,
there.
okay.
And
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
that Ben Stiller's wife in real life?
It is. What a great one growing up. That was great to watch.
Wow, Blazer, Phaser. That's how I learned Spanish. They're talking about, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca, Pedro? Where's the library? Nobody makes White Goodman bleed his own blood.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna butcher those lines.
Hey, I'm gonna cut Broder off there because we're gonna talk some Detroit Lions.
Babe.
I apologize for all of the
ADD.
The ADD or the dodgeball talk. But we're gonna get into here a little bit the Detroit Lions injury report, because that obviously today we haven't seen it since the CJ Gardner-Johnson injury, since all of these injuries since the game. First practice back was kind of today, and I don't know if we sent it. Did we send in the graphic for the who was out, who practiced, and all of that, Broder? Did you send that in?
We didn't. I will.
Well, I can name it here
Yeah,
real
just
quick. So the
read it
players
off.
that were out today: Taylor Decker, no practice; Kirby Joseph, no practice; David Montgomery, no practice; Emmanuel Mosley, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Big V Vitae, all no practice. Limited practice today. This was a little bit surprising as well. Josh Reynolds was limited to as well today. In full practice, Antoine Green was back from concussion protocol, and Frank Ragnow got some reps in. Ragnow got some reps in today.
bro.
So
What are we doing?
I guess we could kind of talk here. Let's start with the Taylor Decker one. We can kind of break down this injury report too. I have a feeling a little bit, everyone in this room and in this chat, I have a really good feeling that Taylor Decker plays Sunday. And I don't know what it is, but I watched Amon-Ra St. Brown's his podcast, and he didn't, the way he talked about it seemed more positive. Like he was like, yeah, Taylor's day to day. It seems like, hopefully he's on the field on Sunday. So the fact that he just came out and was like, oh, he's going to be on the field, but he was like, hopefully he's out there. Sounds like there's that progression where he's getting there.
Like it's trending in the right direction.
And I'm going to tell you guys this real quick. I don't want to see Matt Nelson on the field. I do not want to see Matt Nelson play football this weekend. I want to see Taylor Decker out there. I want to see Graham Glasgow, and I want to see our whole offensive line, because we're going to get into the Jahmyr Gibbs stuff, and I have a little stat, not a stat, but an opinion there with this offensive line and Jahmyr Gibbs. So I don't want to see a Matt Nelson out there. I have faith that Taylor Decker plays Sunday, and I think he will. I think he's in there. I think we end up not seeing Matt Nelson, and we see a Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow.
But would you want to see Dan Skipper, who we just re-signed, who the Lions just re-signed to the practice squad?
Come on, Broder.
What? Dan Skipper is a fan favorite. Hit the hearts if you like Dan Skipper.
I like Dan Skipper.
Right?
I'm with
You
Broder.
guys want to know what I like? You guys want to know what I like?
Dubs.
I like to win. I want to
Taylor
win.
Decker certainly gives...
Taylor Decker or Dan Skipper?
Taylor Decker all day long.
Just
Well,
no. I wanted to just get a little room around the room here.
It's definitely Taylor Decker, but there will be no Dan Skipper slander.
No
he's
slander.
back.
It's just.
I know. Taylor Decker certainly makes the offensive line complete. And it sucks losing Halapula Vitae, but being able to put Graham Glasgow in at right guard, you still have a starting five that has the potential to be elite. That is elite, I should say. And now we got they moved some players up from the practice squad. But I do expect Taylor Decker to play. What has me puzzled, and we were trying to figure this out before the show, was in Dan Campbell's press conference. He made some comments, and correct me, Booner, if I'm not restating this correctly, but it was basically like we're not worried. Some of the guys who might miss Sunday's game
yes,
will also likely miss Thursday. So how do you interpret that?
Yeah, I mean, it was even that. It was that as well as there might be guys who play in Sunday's game and who don't play Thursday. And there's guys who play Thursday who aren't going to play Sunday. And the first initial thing I thought of, and obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown's on this injury report with turf toe, and it was something I know yesterday I said, I wasn't really worried about it. Just those comments, though, to him, to where it's like, obviously he wants to get guys healthy, and having 2 games in the span of 5 days when you get that injury bug, you're gonna have to rest guys. Like all of those guys who are on this practice or injury report aren't gonna play in both games. That's just how it's gonna end up being. Now I'm interested is like a guy like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Does he only play one of these games? Taylor Decker, do we only see him on Thursday, or do we see him Sunday and then he rests for a whole nother week because you have after that, what do you have, 10 days off, more than that?
Yeah, that's where you get
you
that
have a
long
good amount
break.
of time off. So I'm interested in the chat too. I would like to kind of see if you guys want to throw in there who you think he was talking about in that scenario, because I mean the report was loaded. There's Kirby, there's Taylor, there's Demont, there's Emmanuel Mosley, Amon-Ra, Vitae. It is loaded. So I'm interested to know which one of those guys he's like, they're going to play one game. Maybe David Montgomery's back next Thursday, and he was just saying that. Maybe Emmanuel Mosley's out Sunday and back Thursday. I don't know.
I see what you're saying though, and I think
it makes me nervous.
I interpret it a different way, but I actually think you're right. For whatever reason, I thought he was saying if we're going to hold somebody out on Sunday, we're also going to hold him out for Thursday too, to get the extra 10 days on top of the 10 days. I do think it's probably what you're saying, where, all right, if you're going to play Sunday, we're not going to rush you back for a Thursday game.
Yeah, I think it's like we're going to pick or choose. Like if you're going through this injury, you're either going to play Sunday or Thursday, and what's better for the team in the matchup maybe.
Gotcha.
That's how I looked at it.
So maybe it is David Montgomery. He's hopeful that he could play Thursday against the Packers, but bringing him back against the Falcons this weekend might not be ideal.
Emmanuel Mosley, this is the biggest one too, brothers, because they threw him out. They didn't put him on the IR, and that's 4 games. So you would think that the reason they didn't throw him on the IR, and it kind of sucks too for because the 53-man roster, you make that roster, you automatically you get that money and you get that contract. Mm-hmm. So they put him on the 53-man, took it away from someone else, and if he ends up not coming back, at least for this Packers game, you just wasted that spot when you could have had
Starling Thomas.
Yeah, or Gilmore.
Or somebody,
Or I think Gilmore might have signed somewhere else.
No, Gilmore's still on the team. Yeah, he's actually
different.
He might get some play coming up.
So it's like you did that. You put Emmanuel Mosley, and obviously now he has this hamstring going on that they probably didn't realize was going to happen. But, I mean, that's brutal. If he ends up not coming back by Thursday, he should have just been on the IR, and you could have had someone else in.
Yeah, no, but that one is the puzzling one. My expectation was always that he was going to be maybe not 100% by this Falcons game, by the 3rd game, but maybe 75-80, trending to be 100% by game 4, because if you didn't think he was going to be 100% by the Packers game, why would you not put him on the PUP and just save that roster spot, put him out for 4 weeks? But
exactly.
But yeah, by the way, Dominator, shout out to you. I got you, the Red Wings. Let's go. Got to mention them. But Josh Reynolds was actually the one that surprised me also. I didn't even realize he was hurt at all. It sounds like he's battling a groin injury.
Jesus.
Yeah. Which sucked. I mean, he limited, so he still was out there.
Yeah, again, it could be something minor. We didn't. Dan Campbell, nobody talked about that one very much, or actually at all today, so to be determined.
Another interesting one, Kirby Joseph on there for the hip. Obviously, he got hurt and came out of the game for a little bit. He did come back. I do think the fact that and I guess we really haven't heard about many of these guys anyways, but the fact we didn't hear about Kirby a ton after the game and kind of the last 2 days is I feel like Kirby's going to be fine. It seems like it might just be like, hey, let's rest you a couple extra days before we get you back out there.
He banged his hip up, and they're just going to sit him for a couple of days, let him get healthy. They're not worried about him. I think that's the Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know he has a turf toe situation that potentially. Turf toe sucks.
I still think, though, like we're going to see him back practice on Friday probably.
Especially him. It's hard to keep him out, man.
I think he's going to play both games.
If he can run, he'll play.
He's Dan Campbell comment really hurt me, though, because I was like, man, as soon as I was watching it live, I was like, please don't be talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown. I don't know who else they're going to throw the ball to.
It's hard to speculate because in the grand scheme of things, the Packers game that Thursday is more important because they're an NFC North rival. But
you can't go 1-2.
Don't tell the people if you think it's a must-win this weekend. Don't tell them that, man, because I'm going to ask you that maybe later. But you're right, man. This game is huge. I think this game against the Falcons is massive. And obviously, we want to be at full strength. The Lions are not going to be at full strength, so we're going to see other people have to step up.
Yep.
Man, it's just tough seeing these guys out. Emmanuel Mosley, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Vitae is going to be out. Maybe we see more Antoine Green with some of these wide receivers banged up and get Frank Ragnow full practice in the middle of the week. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
He really is that anchor. As good as Penei Sewell, there's no slander on anyone on those lines except for maybe Matt Nelson. Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker are amazing, but Ragnow, that offensive line runs with Frank Ragnow. So hopefully he's good. But I do want to hear more about Dan Campbell. So we're going to play some of his clips.
We do. We have a ton of. And I'm sorry to cut you off, brother. We have a ton. A look into the show. We have a ton of clips from the locker room and from Dan Campbell today. So
make sure react.
Yeah, stick around. Tell a friend to come join us real quick if you want to talk some Detroit Lions. We have a ton of videos here. I know the heavyweights had a couple, but we're lucky enough that we've got Broder here.
Hey.
So we have some videos for sure to be able to play for you guys here. So Broder, I think it's you. Tell us a little bit about Mark White.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mark White Real Estate, because when buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. So sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? Well, that's exactly what you can do with the Mark White minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White & Associates. So you can try that risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today by going to markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. Again, that's markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
coming to Woodward Sports. Woodward and Main Street. The Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. It smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in the honor of Detroit football. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are missing out. So smooth. Find them at Dispo Dispensary for 25% off. Use code word Woodward Glorious. Find them at www.gloriouscanna.com.
Welcome back to Woodward Nights on the Woodward Sports Network. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. I do not lose. I've got, look at it.
It doesn't.
Someone yesterday was asking about the chain.
Lorena Rios.
I brought the chain today, baby.
Lorena Rios.
I'm here. Yes, Lorena. I'm here with Broder, co-host Broder, Detroit Lions beat writer. We've got Jalen in the booth, and we got Nick in the sound booth. We've got up here on the screen right now the Phoenix Sun versus the Minnesota Lynx. If anyone wanted to update on that game, the Sun are winning 26-21 in the second quarter.
Is the Sun actually Phoenix?
I have no clue.
No, I got it. I got this one. I got this one. I got this one. So
it is not?
The Sun with DeWanna Bonner, Alyssa Thomas, they're the Connecticut Sun, right?
Connecticut.
And the Lynx, Mike Moore, Simona Gussis play for them. They're the Minnesota Lynx, right?
Minnesota Lynx,
there
I knew that.
So yeah, the Connecticut Sun are all the way in Bristol,
I hit him with the Phoenix Sun. That's
there
on me.
Go.
Hand up on me. But John McCroon, I'm in the chain gang. We've got the chain today, baby. Let's go, Doc.
Thanks,
we're going to get into this segment here. We're going to actually listen to a lot of Dan Campbell press conference here, talk a little bit about it. He had a good, I think it was a really good press conference, especially after a loss. You don't know how the building's feeling. And I know one of our next segments, too, is Penei Sewell and how the players are feeling. But, Broder, I know you were... This is your cup of tea here.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about these videos you have. I watched the press conference. I'm pure reacting like you guys right now to this. I told Broder bring some videos and let me react to them live on air.
So this is the first one. This is almost toned down Dan Campbell, but he's talking about they're back at Allen Park, business as usual. After their off day yesterday, they're ready to get into it. Jalen, cue that video.
It's business as usual. Back to work here. We know the opponent that's coming in. This is a physical, violent team coming off of two big wins, playing pretty good football right now. So certainly we got our hands full, and we got to be on top of our game to get out there and compete, try to get a win here back at home. So this will be day one. Our guys will be ready to go.
The dude, he's focused. Coach, MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, he's focused. He didn't give you a lot in that clip, but I wanted to put it in because he seems grounded. He doesn't seem too excited. He doesn't seem too depressed or down. The feelings around the city of Detroit have been pretty bipolar. They've been pretty all over the place.
Yeah.
SOL, some people saying, we're fine, no big deal. But Booner, kind of leading into the rest of the press conference, does that make you feel all right about Dan Campbell, or was that really nothing for you?
No, I think it was fine. I mean, to me, it shows, and especially last year, you started 1-6, and they came out, and he kind of had these press conferences. Sheila came out and said, "Hey, just relax." That kind of makes me feel a little bit better. Like Dan Campbell's a little bit poised. He's not worried that the start was 1-1 at all.
Yeah,
and you could tell that, and you want your leader to kind of feel that same energy. I'm not gonna kind of go off today like I did the last 2 days about the same old Lions and the vibe around fans, and Dan Campbell even mentioned, I think it might have been Dan Campbell mentioned around like what the fan base is kind of feeling like you could tell that everyone's down a little bit, and he's still like, hey, no, we're still, I think that might have been him or Penei, but yeah, that video right there just shows me that Dan Campbell knows exactly what he's doing. He's a great head coach in my opinion. We're lucky to have him. I think he's going to keep his poise and get this team right because there's more clips here. I don't know which ones we have here. Like I said, I haven't listened to them yet.
We got them all.
But there's a point to where he just talks about, hey, like listen, like we need to move on from this quick. We're going to do that, and we need to get back to the identity that we were a week ago because in Kansas City. And he even said it. He felt like that they moved away from that. They didn't emphasize taking the ball away. They didn't emphasize all of the things that they emphasized going into Kansas City and all offseason. They got away from going into this game. And he knows that. And as a leader, you can admit, hey, we got away from that. We're getting back to it. It's about how you get back on the tracks when you get off the tracks.
This is why you're elite, Booner, because you just teased the 9 o'clock section without even knowing about it. We're going to hear that identity clip. It is one of my favorites from the entire press conference. But give me a quick answer on this because it leads into the next video.
Yeah.
Are you worried about depth? And we talked about C.J. Gardner-Johnson. How do you feel about Tracy Walker filling in?
The depth isn't an issue to me. And obviously as guys start, like as you get into the season, more guys are going to get hurt. We know that. Like everyone, we know it's the NFL. Guys are going to get hurt. The fact that you have depth, that depth buys you time so those guys can get back. CJ and James Houston, long term, we already know that. But guys like David Montgomery, you know, we have to just find a way to buy time to get him back. Vaitai, find a way to get him back. Taylor Decker, find a way to get him back. There's guys with the depth that you just need to find a way to get them back. Get to the playoffs, find a way to get CJ Gardner-Johnson back. This team has as much depth as any contending team in the league. They've built it the last 2 or 3 years. That's why I'm not worried.
100%. And that's why
we're still the favorites in the North.
100%. That's why they're going to need Tracy Walker to step up. And Dan Campbell talked about his confidence in Tracy Walker here.
You know, we're fortunate to have depth in a number of areas, and that's one of them is at that position there. So, you know, having a guy like Tracy who's got time on task, somebody we got a lot of faith in, trust in, you know, that alleviates a lot of pressure and stress for us, you know, because we know he's game ready. He's been in it. He hadn't batted one eye at it. He just goes to work, you know, and he does anything we ask him to do. He's been playing special teams, been playing for us a little bit here. So certainly he's taken on a big role now. And we have a ton of faith in Trace. So, you know, he's another guy. I'm glad he's here with us.
Dan Campbell's got that confidence in Tracy, and Tracy Walker has that confidence in himself too. Did that make you feel a little better just hearing that confidence from the man in charge?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday with Tracy Walker. He's not a scrub at all. Like you throw him on any other NFC North team, and he's probably starting. You throw him on 70 or 80% of the NFL teams, and he's probably a starter. Just the fact that we had so much depth in this room, and a guy like C.J. Gardner-Johnson, that is why he was in special teams. That's why he was only getting limited snaps. The fact CJ goes down and you have a starter to be able to come off of the bench and take that spot. The heavyweights, they kind of talked about Tracy a little bit as well before our show here, and they mentioned that they went back and watched some highlights of Tracy Walker, and as soon as they did that, I went and I typed it in. I was like, 2021, 2022 Tracy Walker highlights, and that man is a dog.
Ball hawk.
He is good. He doesn't miss tackles. He runs around the field. He's everywhere. He's around the ball. He knows exactly where to be. He's a leader. He's a veteran now. I'm not worried at all that Tracy Walker's taking that spot. We just have another starter filling in. Obviously, it's not a Pro Bowl starter that you had before, or an All-Pro guy that you had before in C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but you still have a very, very good secondary there. So I'm not. They're obviously going to take a little bit of a step back. You would think because of the leadership of C.J. Gardner-Johnson and what he can bring to the table. It's not as big of a step as people think.
100%.
Because Tracy Walker is still that guy.
And he's ready to go.
Even off of an injury.
He's ready to go. The media got to meet with him specifically in the locker room today, and I got a video. It just kind of reaffirms his confidence in himself. He's been waiting for this. He's learned a lot about himself during this time, especially the mental aspect of coming back from an injury and then dealing with being pushed on the depth chart to the second spot behind CJ. Jalen, if you could run that one, that'd be amazing.
Definitely, it's a tough situation. Losing CJ, he definitely brought a different aspect to our team. His energy, his enthusiasm is definitely going to be missed. Like I said, he was definitely a great player for us. For me, I just look at it as a great opportunity for me to come back. Considering I'm coming back from my injury, like I said, it's a special week for me. Considering the week it's the same week I tore my Achilles, so it's such a blessing for me, and I'm just looking at it just to capitalize on the opportunity right now.
There it is.
I love it. I love it. And he like we put up the tweet yesterday. He quote tweeted Lucas or Woodward Sports with Lucas's tweet, and he said it's what did he say? It's tea time. He's ready to go.
Mike.
Just literally just hearing them, like he's knows that he has an opportunity that he didn't have before. A guy like him who's had that opportunity before and he just got injured and he got it taken away from him. I don't know. I feel like he's going to take even that much more advantage of it and be that much better.
Yes, it
That's
wasn't
how
on.
I look at it.
It wasn't on that clip, but in the full interview, he talks about how if he hadn't got injured and that happened to him, where C.J. Gardner-Johnson takes his starting spot, he probably would have been pissed. He probably would have reacted much worse than he did now. But when it happened this time, he felt a little anger, but he thought it was just part of the process. He talked about being a man of faith and how that will help him succeed, and that helps him get ready for this opportunity. Now, I know Jalen was talking about he wants to contribute here. What do you think about Tracy Walker?
First off, he's a great dude. I met him at his charity event. Great dude. Real humble too. But you can tell, anybody would get mad if you got your spot taken. Even if it's for a good cause, or, you've been there. So for him saying that, and then seeing that, it's more to it. He's a team player. They love him in the locker room. He's a great player when healthy. So I think this year, CJ is out. He's gonna play good. He's gonna show what he can do. And remember, they were trying to, people saying that they wanted to get rid of him or trade him, because he had a stacked, depth chart. But he's essential to the team. We need him. And I think, we're not going to lose. We're going to lose a little bit, because CJ's, the energy guy and stuff like that. But I think Tracy's going to come here and do what he does always,
Thinking of a secondary with Tracy Walker and Kirby Joseph, that's still almost elite, maybe an elite safety
Branch.
group. Yeah. Well, you bring in the secondary, Cam Sutton,
Emmanuel. Yeah. Dude, you have dudes on this team.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder. This is kind of the opposite situation of how they handled DeAndre Swift. Right now would be a moment where David Montgomery goes out, having Swift, who maybe he was unhappy. We think he was unhappy.
Having a third
and they moved him to Philadelphia, having that third back, not having to go to our practice squad or seek that position elsewhere. For this moment, they got Tracy Walker, and we can speculate all you want. At the very least, this tells you how much they value Tracy Walker as a person in that locker room, as a leader. He was in the same situation. He was hurt last year. He tore his Achilles, and they think highly enough of him to keep him in the locker room, to give him a guaranteed contract on that 53-man roster. So I'm looking forward to him taking advantage of this situation.
Yeah, and I don't know if I think we have another Dan Campbell video here talking about losing and
we do. This is maybe we can. This will be our last one. We'll play this one, then we'll talk about it, and we'll get to break. But Dan Campbell, it is an interesting quote that we'll get out of this, but he basically says, "I hate losing, but I love this, ... You guys will see right here."
Listen, I hate losing, but I love this, because this is, I just feel like this is what we're all about, and we're back to reality. We're back in the mud. And, it's doom and gloom outside of this building and this world. And, man, let's just hunker down and go to work. And let's get back to what we do well. And it takes all of us to win. It's going to take all three phases. And I just feel like that's what we do best. And I know our guys. I know our coaches. And man, this is challenge accepted, challenge accepted. So I feel really good. I do. And I know the opponent's coming in. And if we don't get back to our identity, this team will take your soul. And so that's the motivation.
Challenge accepted.
Stoke not scared. Stoke not scared.
We're going to take your soul.
Get him, Booner.
Oh, that pumped me up. They should give me a helmet. I'll go play it. I'll be the running back 3.
5.
I'll go out there and play. I mean, Dan Campbell right there just pumps you up. This is why he is the leader of this football team. That man's going, hey, we're going to go out and take people's souls. We're bringing this identity back. You could tell last week when things were going bad, you could tell that identity left a little bit. That wasn't the Lions team week 1. You could tell the turnovers, the defense not stepping up and getting a stop. It felt like in the second half there, I don't know how many times, and I didn't even think of this. Remember last year when we were like, they didn't punt once? I don't know how many times they punted in the second half, but it felt like they did not, and it felt like anything they had.
Yeah.
And we didn't take the Seattle Seahawks soul at all. And I think that's the identity the Detroit Lions need to find, because last year at 1-6, they ended up deep in they went deep into their soul, and they took their own soul out, and they said, listen, we need to get back to being a dog.
Dog.
And I think they're doing that now at 1-1 instead of 1-6. And that's what it feels like, these press conferences. It feels like 1-6 last year when they all came out. Sheila came out and they said, hey, don't worry. We're getting back to business here.
Interesting you said
I
that.
love that clip.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
By the way, I think their only punt in the second half was the last one right near the end of regulation, or about 3 minutes to go, to Khalif Raymond, where he ran it back 16 yards. But I'm glad you said that about what it felt like to you, because to me, I go back to his opening press conference. You know, it was a kneecap speech, but just looking at Coach Dan Campbell, he seemed nervous. He seemed flustered. This was his first time addressing the team. He seemed calm and grounded in this, where everybody around the organization, everybody outside of the organization, I should say, you know, we're hearing the SOL stuff. We're hearing the panic. Dan Campbell seemed calm. He seemed all right. We're just stay the process. Yeah,
I might have messed it up. Doc said, he said Falcons will take your soul if you don't show up. Maybe I had that wrong, but hey, Doc, we're going to go take their soul.
Take them.
We're taking the Falcon. Ritter, taking your soul. Drake London, soul. Jesse Bates, soul.
Bijan Robinson,
soul.
Tyler Algier,
soul.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kyle Pitts,
soul. We're taking everyone.
Matt Collins.
I was a Matt Collins fan in the offseason.
Well, hey, we're going to be talking about Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs when we get back. But Booner, can you tell them about Guardian Alarm?
Guardian Alarm, customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. If you're taking a soul or someone's trying to take your soul, you need Guardian Alarm, 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us any day or night and know that a Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that has been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. Make sure you call 1-800-STAY-OUT!
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casino with prime beef, dry-aged beef, and Wagyu beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today by going and visiting the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Or you can order online at fairwaypacking.com. And we are back, but we're going to play a video for you real quick. Jahmyr Gibbs, Dan Campbell on Jahmyr Gibbs.
Sorry, boys.
Dude, you're fine.
Yeah, well, to us, we're going to treat it as business as usual. We're not going to let it affect us. We feel good about the backs we have. Certainly Gibbs can get more of a role. And we're going to do what we do, and really our focus was on how we attack this opponent more than the backs that we have.
For that too, I mean, he's capable of handling a bigger...
We'll find out.
All right, welcome back to Woodward Nights. My name is Booner. Oh, Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. I do not lose. And we've got Broder here as always on the desk. We got Jalen and Nick in the TD or in the sound booth. If you guys can real quick hit that like button, do a favor for us, please. It helps push it out. And if you could tell a friend to tune into the show and keep growing this. How many subscribers are we at? 49.8 thousand. 200 more, probably almost close to 100. We might do a little subathon here. Woodward Nights tomorrow or Friday. Friday night subathon. But I'm sorry, brother.
No, you're good. I was just full in time. I'd say this is our 11th show as a crew.
It is. We're throwing them out there. We're slowly growing. We appreciate you all tuning in. And if you guys just saw there, you saw Dan Campbell talking a little bit about Jahmyr Gibbs.
Come on, Jahmyr.
That feels like it has been the kind of talk of the town this week. You drafted a running back 12th overall, Jahmyr Gibbs, and you basically traded back, passed on a guy like Bijan Robinson, who, in my opinion, and I've heard a lot of people throughout the day say this, that they feel like that Bijan is the second best running back in the NFL right now, which I'm not going to say no to. I'm not going to deny. I feel the same way. You passed on him, traded back to get Jahmyr Gibbs, and now you have them both on the field at the same time. And that's going to be this topic here is we're going to go Jahmyr Gibbs versus Bijan Robinson. We have some questions with it, some topics about it. Broder, I'll go over to you first. From that Dan Campbell press conference there, did it make you feel, it felt like they're really going to start looking to use Jahmyr? And I know we had this last week we talked about it, and he said the same thing, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, it was Ben Johnson last week who said, we're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs in some new ways coming up. We didn't exactly get to see that. I'm sort of getting the same vibes out of Coach Campbell with this, although I am more confident that they're going to use him in some new ways. They're going to use him more. It seems like he and the entire coaching staff are addressing the media or sharing in these press conferences as little as possible in terms of their game plan around their roster for the upcoming game.
Yeah.
I think some of it, if not most of it, is a little bit of that gamesmanship that he's playing with Arthur Smith over in Atlanta. But regardless of the gamesmanship or coachsmanship, he has to use Jahmyr Gibbs more.
Yes.
And if not just to prove that they made the right decision in the draft, because with David Montgomery out, we need a running back to set up that play-action pass for Jared Goff, to really continue the identity behind this offensive line of being able to ground and pound if you feel that's their identity. They need to be able to do that to set up the rest of their offense.
They do. And Coach Walk, I see you in the chat here. Appreciate you tuning in as always. We love Coach Walk.
Yes.
Huge supporter of the show.
Big fan.
And he said it is not Robinson versus Gibbs. And then John Macroon here, it is Robinson versus Gibbs. And I agree with the doc a little bit on this. It is.
This conversation
You have a player that you passed on, and you have a guy with Jahmyr Gibbs that you traded back to get. You're going to be sharing. They're going to be on the same field and in the same building on Sunday. And you're going to see both of them. And it comes down to two things. This game, to me, comes down to two things. One, can you stop Bijan Robinson and stop that run like you've been doing the last
they have
10 to 12 games? The Detroit Lions have been stopping the run versus guys like Saquon. Can you do that? And then number two, can you utilize Jahmyr Gibbs? And what is Jahmyr Gibbs going to do with David Montgomery out? Because that's going to be the biggest question of this offense is with David Montgomery, you looked good. The run game looked good. The run game set up the pass game. Now, no D-Mont. Can Jahmyr Gibbs fill that void? Can he do what Bijan's doing when he gets 15 carries in a game? And I'm interested to see it. And I did have a thought here, too. I can't
Say it. Let it fly.
I'm just going to let it fly here.
Yeah,
I can't
Booner,
remember if I had it for a different segment.
Cook.
Jahmyr Gibbs week one, I think we can all agree, and in the chat here, we all felt very good about his week one. Some of the runs that he had, he broke a couple off. He had, 47 rushing yards or 46 rushing yards, averaged about five a carry. What did we have in that game that we didn't have week two?
A win?
A full offensive line.
Facts.
The full offensive line was there in week one. Week two, you have Matt Nelson and Glasgow, and when things kind of went down a little bit and D-Mont went down, that's when Glasgow came. You didn't have that full. And I know they ran Craig Reynolds a little bit, but Jahmyr struggled running the ball. And maybe that was part of it, is Panay had to move. Matt Nelson was in. Things were a little different. You didn't have that full force offensive line. And I get it, but it just looked like every single time he went between the tackles, there was just no success. So
the puzzling thing to me is
huge key to
the amount of usage that they had. So Jahmyr Gibbs he just played 19 snaps in the first game, 32 snaps in game two. So he's played 51 snaps on offense total. Bijan Robinson has played 91. He's been out in that field, and they both share the backfield with another very strong running mate with David Montgomery in Detroit and Tyler Algier in Atlanta. And to see the usage go up so much from Bijan Robinson to Jahmyr Gibbs is crazy. I mean, Gibbs, 14 rushes for 59 yards, 9 receptions on 11 targets. Bijan Robinson, he's had 29 rushes for 180 yards, 10 receptions on 11 targets for 75 and a touchdown. So while the teams are different and they have different philosophies, different game plans, different head coaches, Atlanta is they're focused. They're committed. That's the word I was looking for. Committed to using Bijan Robinson right from the jump, right from the beginning of his rookie season. Atlanta has made him a focal point of the offense. Tyler Algier had an amazing game in Game 1, and what do they do in Game 2? Turn it around and start feeding Bijan. It's one of those things. In the next segment, we're talking more Lions versus Falcons, but this one about Bijan versus Jahmyr Gibbs. Maybe we go around the room with this, but Booner, I'll send it to you first. Do you have any regrets or do you have any reservations of trading out of that 6th pick, taking Jahmyr Gibbs at 12 versus snagging Bijan, who was then taken by the Atlanta Falcons at 8?
I mean, it would be nice, to have one of the best running backs in the game right now, but you traded back to get Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs. You went and got right now, who, if you want to break down the stats for a running back, let's break down the stats for a tight end. Right now, statistically, you have a top five tight end in the league. Statistically,
right.
I'm not saying he's there yet, but when you look at the stats, he's 4th in receiving yards, and he's like the first rookie tight end ever to have 5 receptions in their first 2 games. So that's just a crazy stat there. So, I don't regret it. I want to obviously see what Jahmyr can do. In the morning show, and as well as I think the heavies last night, but the morning show this morning put up some graphics, and they broke down some of the elite guys like Jamal Charles, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, and they kind of broke down what their first 2 or 3 games looked like compared to Jahmyr Gibbs, and it was almost identical. It was that they didn't get off to a strong start. A guy like Alvin Kamara, he won Offensive Rookie of the Year.
He's the only one.
And he started off slow. And he literally had the same start as a Jahmyr Gibbs. So there has to be a little bit of patience there. And you have to let him get into things. I think we all know that. And as well, Alvin Kamara had Mark Ingram with him as well. So if you want to say, D-Mont, no, like he had a guy in front of him as well.
Out of Flint. Mark Ingram out of Flint.
No, I don't regret it at all. I think Brad Holmes said it when he drafted him. And he said, hey, and I heard Flannel a couple of times be like, They felt like, and I guess I'm going to have to go look back and listen to some Brad Holmes, and you were probably there at some conferences. But Flannel keeps saying that Brad Holmes says that Jahmyr was a better prospect than Bijan. But I'm pretty sure Brad Holmes came up and said he's a better fit for us than Bijan Robinson was on our offense. And I could be wrong on that, but every time I hear it, it makes me like a little mad. And I'm like, wait, I'm pretty sure Brad Holmes said that Bijan might be the best running back in the class. Or he might not have said that the exact words, but he touches on Jahmyr Gibbs fits us better with a guy like D-Mont, or last year we had Jamal. Like Jahmyr fits our game better, fits Ben Johnson better. He reminded him of a Todd Gurley type. You know what I mean? Like
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift. So he fit us the best. That's why we did it. We traded back and we got a Sam Laporta with it.
Yeah. And before I go to you, Nick.
Sorry, I went off on there, boys. I know you all
Don't ever apologize for cooking, dude. Before I go to Nick, could you put up that graphic of the missed tackles, Jahmyr Gibbs, just real quick? Because I think this is one of the reasons they need to get him the ball more, because when he does get it, he makes things happen. See, here we go. Running back leaders in missed tackles forced per touch right now, per fantasy points data. Jalen Warren, interesting.
Jalen, there we go.
Nick Chubb, crying. Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Obviously, that list is kind of all over the map in terms of players and usage, but
there's potential,
man. The fact that Jahmyr Gibbs is up there, and I think David Montgomery is close behind. But, Nick, whether you want to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs versus Bijan in a certain way versus this, or you can take this question. Are you happy with the Lions sticking with Gibbs versus going the Bijan route?
I'm going to be honest, I absolutely loved Bijan coming out of the draft. He was my guy walking into the draft party and everything. I wanted Bijan at 6. I took a huge bet out on it too because I thought about what he could do for this offense. He's on pace for 2,167 total yards of offense as a rookie for the Falcons. They're utilizing him like a top 12 pick should be utilized. This is what's blowing my mind with Jahmyr Gibbs. I get you want to ease him into it. Take the goddamn lid off, get him the ball, and let him cook because I'm getting sick of it already and it's week 2. I know we want to ease him into it, and we want to get him healthy, keep him healthy. Let's win. This is a must-win game.
Just want to tell you,
Let's
it's going
cook.
to be all right, brother.
Let's
Just
cook.
Relax a little
Let's
bit.
cook. I'm trying.
Let him get in. He's a rookie.
Jalen, what do you think about it?
2.
Wait. By the way, Booner, QT in the chat. He said it. He or she said it best. Only apologize, Booner, if you say something crazy like Ben Wallace ain't a Hall of Famer.
And on this show, Ben Wallace is a Hall of Famer.
Damn
on this
right.
show.
Damn right. No doubt.
Jalen, what do you think about Jahmyr Gibbs versus Bijan Robinson? Give us your honest opinion. Oh boy, he's scratching.
Let me talk to you, all right? You know what? When I say that, you know I'm serious, right? I'm with Nick. Bijan out of college at Texas, he was like, he was the best running back in college football in the nation. I think he fits us there. He doesn't start in Atlanta, by the way. It's a two-back over there. I think it's Tyler Aguilar or whatever his name is. They split, downs and whatnot, but he makes a difference. Jameer Gibbs and Demont is a great duo, like I said before, but why are we taking so long? Like, I don't understand that. We picked him top 10. Bijan is out there doing what he's doing, getting touchdowns and getting snaps and whatnot. Jameer Gibbs needs to play. Need to use him. I just feel like if we picked him that high, it's like, what are we waiting for? And I'm not saying he's like, Bijan may be better, Jameer may be better. You never know yet. It's early on, but we got him top 10. Why are we, or not top 10, top 15? Why are we just, easing him in? I just don't understand that.
This is, all of you boys, this is starting, I'm starting to get that feeling. A couple months ago that I got the feeling when everyone was telling me that, I'm not going to say his name, but that quarterback over in Chicago, when everyone was looking me dead in the eyes, I was sitting in the Maj chair, I was behind the desk here, and everyone kept saying, oh, Booner, man, he's a dark horse MVP. Booner, you're the sports book guy. You're the gambling guy. What are his odds to win MVP? What about that value? And I just laughed at them, and then I got laughed at for months about it. I'm starting to get the same feeling. It's where it's like, and same with like Monday after the loss, on Loser Monday when we came in, and I'm sitting there, and everyone's overreacting. Same old Lions fans are like, oh, we lost again. The season's over. Jameer Gibbs, in my opinion, I'm not stressed at all. What's the main thing? He has the talent, and we know it. He has the talent. If you have the talent, eventually Ben Johnson's going to find a way to break it out.
Yes.
We've seen that with Amon-Ra St. Brown. So it's going to happen. In my opinion, it happens Sunday. I think it happens Sunday. I'm putting a Booner guarantee on it. Jameer Gibbs, 100-plus all-purpose yards and a touchdown.
Boom.
Does it this Saturday.
Does he have the body to go through the middle, though? I think everything has to be through the outside is what it seems like. You guys think he does?
He definitely does. They just don't want to use him that much. They don't want to put him through that.
I would love to go back and watch the all 22 or whatever. I'll go back and watch and see how many times they actually gave him the ball between the tackles.
No, he gets it a lot.
He got it a couple times, but it's nothing came out of it.
It's just like he's smaller, like Demont's small, but Demont's a little stronger. He's a little built
bulkier.
Different. He's bulky, so like Jameer, I'm not worried. I think Bijan's a little stronger right now, but like we're not worried. More so, I'd say it's just like we want to see him just fast. We want to see him,
you
jump in there.
What are we waiting for?
Yeah, we're not worried. It's just like, we got him. Let's just, put him in there. We need now would be the best time to experiment, if anything.
100%. You said, what are we waiting for? I'd say the same to those who don't belong to a gym that's named Planet Fitness.
Yes. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. We are here to help you build a lasting active lifestyle. At Planet Fitness, you will experience squeaky clean gyms. Broder cleans them himself.
I do.
That has tons of equipment, full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. For more information or to join today, head over to your local Planet Fitness or www.planetfitness.com, where your fitness is essential.
By now you know me, Christina Schnari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
How would you like to play golf with famous athletes, famous celebrities like Jim Harbaugh, who will be returning on Saturday, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, and Braylon Edwards, Biletnikoff winner, Pro Bowler, absolute stud, 3rd overall pick. If you want to play golf with them, you can. Thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you'll be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. So why don't you make the wise choice and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more info soon.
Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. My name is Booner, and I do not lose. I've got my chain today. I don't know if Lorena's in the chat. Got the chain today. We're rocking it. I don't have it on. I will put it on at some point in this show. We've got Broder, as always, the Detroit Lions beat reporter for the Woodward Sports Network. We've got Jalen in the booth, and we've got Nick in the sound booth. This is exciting, fellas. We got over Loser Monday. We got over Loser Tuesday. And we're sitting here on Loser Wednesday. And we're about to talk a little bit about this Detroit Lions versus Atlanta Falcons matchup, which I'm excited about. I'm extremely, extremely excited to kind of go over this a little bit because I did today while I was at work. I don't know if I could talk about that, but I watched the Falcons-Packers game, and I watched it a little bit. I wanted to see kind of – I wasn't able to watch it live, so I was able to kind of look at it more, break it down. And we're going to break down the game just a little bit. We're not going to get in depth because tomorrow and Friday is going to be – we have a bunch of different topics lined up for the game. But, Broder, I'll start with you because this is the main question I think we can start this whole week with. Coming off a loss to the Seattle Seahawks at home, coming off of a win versus the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead, you're sitting there at 1-1. It felt like Detroit, the whole world was collapsing on Monday and Tuesday. And now we're starting to settle down and getting back into the game a little bit here. With a little bit more faith. I know the injuries, but Broder,
yes,
is this a must-win game for the Detroit Lions? That's the first question we need to answer this week.
You had to ask me that first.
Must-win.
It's not a must-win, but it's a very, very, very important game. It's still a long season, but after the deflation that was the loss to the Seahawks this weekend, after that deflating feeling from fans, from people around Detroit, they need to come back and have, I don't want to say they have to have a dominant effort, but they do have to go out and beat the Falcons. Coming to their house, the one thing that you could really take away is as maybe their most successful unit or successful stat was that their ability to stop the rush in these last two games has been near the top of the NFL, which is one of the biggest issues they had this offseason we wanted to address. There have been many other issues on defense and in the secondary and even on that defensive line, but they've been able to stop the run. So you have a very good Atlanta Falcons team. They come to Detroit, they come to Ford Field with a high-powered offense. Bijan Robinson, we just talked about him. Yep. He's great. They got Tyler Algier. That's a two-headed monster. Even their third running back, who might be hurt right now, but Cordero Patterson, he's an all you can do.
Cordell.
He's sick. He's an all you can do. Everything. He can do it all. Running back. Then you mix in Drake London, who he had a pretty good game against the Packers, I believe, but a poor week one. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Mr. Potential, Mac Hollins. They got weapons. And their offensive line. Their offensive line's improving with Chris Lindstrom and Drew Dahlman.
Yeah.
They got a good team. They got a good offense. I know I didn't talk about their defense there, but the Lions need to come in and make a statement. They need to go in and beat the Falcons. It's not must-win, but it's very, very, very important. Booner, do you think it's a must-win?
I think exactly what you said kind of summed everything up after I watched them play today. But do I think it's a must-win?
Do you?
Yes, it's a must-win for the Detroit Lions. You can't go 1-2. You can't lose back-to-back games at home. You can't lose 2 games in the NFC back-to-back. When you're supposed to be considered a contender, you have to find a way to win this game. You have to. Because then if you lose this game, you're going into Lambeau Field in 3 or 4 days after that, and then you're going to be expected to an even harder must-win game on the road versus an NFC North opponent. So, yes, this is a must-win game. You have to go into Ford Field, protect the house, and get the job done. You have to. And I get, and what people are going to get, and we're going to go over the next 2 or 3 days, this is a good football team that's coming in. They're not scrubs. And I know Cash is a Falcons fan in the chat all day today. This is a good football team that we're facing.
The Falcons, yeah.
They have weapons. Bijan Robinson. They have one of the best O-lines in the NFL, a top 5 O-line in the NFL. The defense, if you watch it versus the Packers, they made plays. So it comes out, you have to be ready to go, and you have to make a statement here. Whether you have got injuries or not, the NFL doesn't care. They're not going to put asterisks like the people talked about versus the Chiefs. They're not going to put asterisks for you for the playoffs, for the NFC North. None of that. You have to go win this game.
One of my favorite...
Sorry, there was a fly there. I had to...
No, you're good. One of my favorite acquisitions this offseason was someone that I really wanted to come to the Lions for a year, maybe another one of those prove it year deals. Actually, not a prove it because he's old, which is why they didn't sign him. Yes. But Calais Campbell from the Ravens.
Yes, I remember when we were talking about bringing him to Detroit.
I really haven't been following what he's done or how he's impacted the game, but I have a striking suspicion that he has played a huge difference on that defensive line, regardless of if he's had stats or not. He's played an important role on defense. Guys like that and Jesse Bates, they've done things. They've made moves in this offseason to fit Arthur Smith, their head coach, and what he wants to do on offense. And I'm blanking on their defensive coordinator's name, but they're building that team almost in a similar way as the Lions, or at least wanting to fit their offensive game plan, drafting players like that. Bijan's a better fit for Atlanta than he is for the Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs, to me, is a better fit for the Lions than he is for the Falcons.
100%. That was the point that I was trying to make, too, when we were talking about, are you fine that you guys traded back to get 12? Yes, the fit was there. But there was one part, too, today I want to talk about. If we're talking about this game real quick. When I watched him versus the Packers, Desmond Ridder, and I know that some people will say, oh, he's pretty decent, he's good. First of all, this is the third best quarterback that we've played so far. The last quarterback, obviously Mahomes. I put Geno Smith above him. This is going to be the worst quarterback that you've played. And he's not a scrub at all. I'm not saying he's the worst one. Didn't say that he's bad. He's not a scrub. But if you watch this game, there's opportunity. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for guys like Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, and Tracy Walker to take the ball away. Because if you go back and watch that Packers game, 2 or 3 times, Desmond Ridder threw the ball right to the Packers' opponent.
Really?
Right to Quay Walker. Right to Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander literally got the ball right here. Just was standing there, and he threw the ball right to him, and it would have been a pick 6, and they would have ended up winning that game. Because they would have had an extra touchdown in that game. It would have changed the whole game. It would have been 34 to whatever it was. So Desmond Ridder, you can make him make some mistakes. Yeah. And I know our defensive lines has struggled, but what's the one thing this defensive line or the edges have done and Aiden Hutchinson has done? It's put pressure.
Yep.
You continue to keep putting pressure, and that's where my point goes to this game. Isaiah Buggs.
Get him in.
Get him on the field.
Get him on the field.
You need to get some pressure on Desmond Ridder, because when he gets pressure, if you go watch that game, he throws the ball straight to the defender. He can run. Yes, he's mobile. But he does make mistakes. This is his first year a full-time starter. He's going to make mistakes. You have a young quarterback. Take advantage of it.
On the road, too.
Yes.
Desmond Ridder, I heard an insane stat, and I think it's through college. Through college and the pros, he's 20-0 in his last 28 home games. Like, since college, he's never lost at home.
Dog. Let him cook.
Insane. But, Booner, you're going to tell the people right now,
yes.
Hopefully about Buggs. You're going to be on this show, I believe, but maybe. But Buggs will be... hopefully playing when you tell them.
Yes, the Detroit Lions, Woodward Sports Lions pregame show. I said Lions a lot there, but it returns for another season. Look at that, Hollywood up there. Jeff Iafrady with the weekly special guest on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel. Whether sipping Kool-Aid or you're like screaming like one of those people we hate, calling, same old Lions. Yeah, no, join into the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show. This week, I believe, is Neil Rule. I will be the third chair there, as always, at home games, the third chair. And at away games, if you tune in during the away games, guess where I'm at? Sitting right in this seat, baby. So make sure you tune in 9:30 to 11:30 on Sundays. And on different days that aren't Sundays, it's about 2 hours before kickoff. So make sure you guys tune in.
Booner, you just gave a new meaning to soul, like with Dan Campbell's clip, regardless of who he's talking about. It's time to steal people's souls.
Yes.
The SOLs. Steal them. Get rid of them.
Get rid of the souls. And I forgot one, too. Jeff Okudah, soul!
He's making his season debut.
He is.
Coming back to Detroit. But, Nick, I know you wanted to say something about this game.
Yeah, speaking of souls, I think our soul will be taken if we lose our second straight home game to an NFC team that we're going to be competing with in a row. This, to me, is a must-win game. It reminds me a lot of that Packer game last year where we won ugly 15-9 and got rolling on the year. I think this could have a similar impact. Even if this game's ugly as all hell, we got to win this thing.
100%. 100%. In the chat, let us know if you want us to open up the lines to talk about that exact question. Is it a must-win game? But in the next segment at 9:15. We're going to be talking
This
about
is my favorite segment.
the right tackle, the starting all-you-can-do offensive lineman, Penei Sewell. But first, is this me? This is you. SMA?
This
Tell
is
the people
me,
about
SMA, man. Hey,
Oh my
if you're a same old Lions fan and you're going through something, the Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, head over to thesportsma.com. Again, that is thesportsma.com.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Do you have football on the brain? Fall ushers in college and professional football. And this fall is going to be awesome. Fall is also a great time to shop for your home and auto insurance. So why don't you shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance? They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you. So ask for Market Swiss Insurance today. That's at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177.
Welcome!
Yeah, welcome.
Back Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. I'm going to throw this on for a little bit here.
Put it on,
We're
Booner.
talking
Chain
about
up.
This next segment. And real quick, my name is Booner. We've got Broder right there next to me. We've got Jalen in the TD booth. We've got Nick in the sound booth.
Yes,
if
sir.
you guys can, please, real quick, first of all, tell a friend to tune into the show. We would love to keep this thing growing. Secondly, if you can hit that like button, let's keep hitting that like. Hit that like button, please, if you can. Let's get those likes up.
Booner, do you want to call out Coach Walk's comment, or do you want me to?
Oh, well, actually, yeah, I did mention that. Coach Walk, he said, our soul will be taken if Jeff Okudah has a pick six. Listen, if Jeff Okudah has a pick six and I'm on stream, I will walk out of the room and I may not come back.
It'll be us three. Nick, Jalen, it'll be just us three. And Jeff Okudah is a friend of the network. He did some amazing things when he was a Lion. We don't want Jeff Okudah human slander, but he didn't work out here for a reason.
But if he gets a pick six versus us and we got rid of him,
that'd be trouble.
That'd be like any player.
It'd be like DeAndre Swift coming back and running for
250 yards and 4 touchdowns.
Or Kenny Galladay coming back and snagging 3 TDs.
No, right now he's not.
It's true. Or Ziggy Ansah coming back and having 4 sacks on Matthew Stafford. It can get weird. It can get weird. But Booner, I need you to open up this segment. Tell me about Penei Sewell. You when we were talking before, when we were prepping for the show, you were jacked up.
I was, and I feel like I'm starting to, as this night show progresses, I'm starting to become get on the front lines of this Detroit Lions ending the SOL slander. And then when you look into the players and how they're handling things, Penei Sewell isn't only a captain, but that man is the biggest leader, in my opinion, on this team right now, because he came out on a press conference the last couple days, and the Lions posted this. And in 1 second, Jalen, I'll oop it to you here for this video. But he came out and he basically, and I bet you every single player on this team saw this video, and he called everyone out and said, guys need to start getting back to where we were last year. You need to start getting, you need to get back to that grit. Because last week, guess what? You didn't have it. And we all knew it. The whole city of Detroit saw it. And as much as everyone showed out, there were issues. And Penei Sewell, just listen to him here, because he's preaching what I've been preaching, what everyone's been preaching here about what this team needs to do to kind of move forward.
Throw it off the backboard, Wade.
It definitely humbles you. And I hope the guys come in with that same mindset of what we were a year ago. It's just different now. There's too many people riding the wave. There's too many people talking. And for myself, that never bothers me. I don't like to, no offense to y'all, but I really don't give a damn what y'all say. So I think the team's got to humble back, go back to the drawing board, and it's just us against everybody. So we just got to keep that same mindset.
Wow.
Now, did you hear that?
Yeah.
This is us versus everybody. You have to get back to that mindset. You can't get into the mindset, and I get it. All of the Detroit Lions fans and everyone in the chat, everyone around Detroit has been hyping them up. It's been one of the biggest hype-up seasons and anticipated seasons in Detroit Lions sports history. But the players have to stay grounded, right? These guys have to stay grounded in the locker room. And Penny came out and said it. They said, hey, we have to get that mindset back. It's us versus everybody. We have to put our own backs against the wall because that's where we're best at. We're best. Our best football is when our backs are against the wall and we're trying to move forward. When we're playing with grit. I love that video. I would love it. And shout out to the Detroit Lions. That was on their Twitter page. They posted it. Broder, I want your thoughts on this. People in the chat, if you guys have thoughts on this. If this pumps me up to be able to see a guy like him step up as a leader and say, hey, no, trust me, I'm in the locker room right now. I don't care what any of the reporters say. I don't care what the media is saying. We're going to bring back what we were supposed to be.
Everything's going to be fine.
What's the word I'm looking for? Our identity.
Identity. Speaking of, we do
word of the day.
We got to play that clip in this segment. We didn't get to it in the last one when Dan Campbell's talking about identity. But you hit it right on the nose when you're talking about his leadership and the development that we've seen of him, not just as a player, but as that leader. You know, even being able to cover the team and being down in Allen Park, you don't really get the full behind-the-scenes look of how these players interact with each other. And we know Penei Sewell is becoming one of the best offensive linemen in the entire NFL, but he was just named captain, and I can see from this video, I can see why. I can see how he commands respect from his teammates, from his coaches, from his fan base, from the media, from everybody. He stands up there serious with direct. I'm sort of getting goosebumps here, but he said everything you want to hear the leader of the unit, the offensive line unit, of your identity. A lot of us think that offensive line is part of the identity, and I truly believe it. For him to go up there and say that, wanting to get back to the grit, get back to who they truly believe they are, maybe they got a little bit away from themselves with the ski mask, with all the hype. I'm not saying that was the case, but Penei Sewell's the guy we want leading the Lions back to that moment.
And the biggest thing here, too, as well, and I put it in my notes here, is you have to get back to where you feel like there's something that you guys have to prove in that locker room. Because at the end of the day, they haven't proven, the Detroit Lions have not proven anything. And am I wrong on that, Broder? They have not proven a thing.
Nothing.
Zero.
Zero.
There's these things called expectations, which we all gave to them. And then there's a difference between expectations and results. And if you have these expectations and you go into the game and you go into all these games as favorites and you're expected to win these games and you keep listening to the hype and you don't have the results, then all of those expectations, all of that hype, everything that we talked about all offseason was for nothing. And it makes it even look worse when you end up missing the playoffs. So you have to, and just like Penei said, we have to look ourselves in the mirror and we have to take a step back and we have to get back to where we were before.
That identity.
Because last year when they were 1-6, there were no expectations. They found a way and they got back to their identity and they ended up finding a way to get the job done and they turned into that grit in that new Lions. So that's what they need to do. That man is a captain of this team. And every single person in that locker room needs to get that mindset back. I might start turning my mindset and not be so slappy about the Detroit Lions.
Booner.
I need to throw a piece of humble pie at them.
There's a lot of pie being thrown around these days. But Jalen, I to continue that little rant from Booner, could you play that video about Dan Campbell talking about the identity?
You know, we get into specifics of how do you beat this team. But to me, it's more. It is about us, not more. It's about us, and I came away. And when you look back, I just think about, man, let's get back to what we're about, our identity. And I think we got to establish our identity. And if that's our focus, and that's the way we practice, that's the way we attack it, I think everything else will fall right into place. So let's get back to all those things that we preach on offense and defense, the finish, the population of the football. Striking the football, biting the ball, offensively finishing in a dominating position. And that's got to be the focus. And it starts today, I think we do that, we'll be okay.
Wow, I gotta love to hear that.
Yeah, you know what the best part about that is
What?
too? Is that Penei came out and said that. Dan's talking about that. That means Coach Dan Campbell's message is being heard very, very well around that locker room.
And in C.J. Gardner-Johnson's interview after the game in the locker room against Seattle, he talked about the season being a marathon. And
it is.
The press conference were going on almost simultaneously. C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the locker room, Dan Campbell in the press conference room. He said the same language, talked about it being a marathon and just it's a long season. There was more to it, but basically just let's move on. We gotta learn from this mistake and move on. You're so right. Whatever message Dan Campbell is sharing with them, it's being heard throughout that entire locker room.
It is, and that's what it has to continue to be. Even if you start, if you win these next 2 games, you're 3-1. Say you go beat the Bucks, and you're sitting there at 4-1. You have to keep that. You have to keep your identity, and that's what Dan Campbell talks about. Is hey, we have to find the identity and what this football team's about, and we have to figure out who we are, and we have to roll with that. And that's what teams that go and win Super Bowls, they find that early. They know what they're great at. They know what to do. They know their culture, and they go get the job done. And you have to find that. You felt like they had it when they were 8-2 last year, and that's basically, you just need to get back to it, because at the end of the day, it's a whole new football team. There's new guys in the locker room, like C.J. Garner. There's different guys that are in this locker room. You have 2 new running backs. You have a whole new secondary. So you just have to you're gonna hit a bump. You just have to get back to that identity. And I was thinking, I don't know if you want to do it, Broder. I was thinking, open the phone lines. Nick, does the phones work? Yeah, if you guys want to, I'm going to put it in the chat here. Jalen, if you could pin that. If you just want to call in and kind of talk about the Detroit Lions and the identity, and kind of, do you feel, the big question too is, do you feel like this is a must-win game for the Lions and to build their identity and to kind of keep that moving forward? That's kind of, if anyone wants to call in, please do so. That would be awesome. Before that, actually, I guess we can hit an early break here, and then when we come back, maybe we'll have a phone call or two, Broder.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. I'll tell the people about Dispo.
Dispo, baby.
Because at Dispo, you can experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products at the Dispo dispensary. They have over 12 locations, including their brand new location in Whitmore Lake. It's now open, and Dispo is never far away. So why don't you join Woodward Sports at Dispo Romeo on Friday for an all-day live broadcast morning Woodward show to Woodward heavyweights. We will be here in the studio, but Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, they are your local cannabis plug.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
How would you like to win a 100K Vegas getaway? You can take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the 100K Vegas getaway at drinksyntron.com/Vegas. You can also buy Syntron at your local Meijer store. That's Syntron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look great, look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. So go to drinksyntron.com/Vegas.
Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. Sitting next to me is Matthew Broder, the Detroit Lions beat reporter for the Woodward Sports Network. Got Jalen in the booth.
You know it.
Nick, as always, too, is in the sound booth.
Yes, sir.
Make sure you guys real quick tell a friend to tune into the show and hit that like button on the stream if you can. Even Cash in the chat, Atlanta Falcons fans, hit that like button. We love you here, kind of chatting it up with the Detroit Lions fans.
100%. We still got the phone lines open. 313-552-6322. Give us a call. We can talk about the Lions. We can talk about the Lions-Falcons game. Is it a must-win? We can talk about Penei Sewell getting back to that grit. Or we can talk anything around the NFL, like we're about to jump into a little bit. Because there's a man, this was announced the other day, there's a man who we saw week 1 who is now richer than he was before, Patrick Mahomes. Whew. He has new contract, $210.6 million between 2023 and 2026. Is there a graphic, Jalen, that you could throw up? I can't remember. Oh, there it is.
Look at that.
Chiefs, that's basically saying what I just said, but Patrick Mahomes, the agreement itself could also reach like $218 million with escalators by the end of 2026, and it's all guaranteed. But the interesting part to that is that both sides of this is a 3-year, or it's an extension to 2026, but he initially signed a contract that took him, I think it was through, where are my notes, a 10-year, $450 million extension that put him under contract through 2031. So what that means is basically the Kansas City Chiefs, which they didn't have to do, they agreed, all right, we'll revisit, we'll let you have another chance to get paid in 3 years, which they didn't have to do. And, the speculation has been they're always going to kind of rework his contract, maybe even give him a percentage of the team. Maybe quarterbacks start to get a percentage of the salary cap. I don't know. But dude, Patrick Mahomes is now back to being the most expensive player in the NFL.
So
the
what is
highest
he getting
paid,
then? What is his average a year then? Does that move it up to 50? What was the price there?
It does. It's 210 over 4 years, so 55.
55 a year.
55 mil, and that's following Joe Burrow's contract extension.
So
Mahomes, actually, I'll save that part of this.
I just want to throw it out there because the conversation with Jared Goff, and I'm changing a little bit to where I know he's a great player and he can help win you games and take you to the promised land, in my opinion now. But this is a conversation. I know Easy, I see you in the chat there. Me and him have had this conversation for the last 2 years on shows, podcasts, everything, is the 12% rule of trying to keep your quarterback under 12% the salary per year. Now, Patrick Mahomes is sitting at 55 million, right, a year?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, 55. Justin Herbert, 52. Lamar Jackson, 52. Jalen Hurts, 51. Those are the only quarterbacks that are 50 and above in the NFL right now. So the people who are on that side of, hey, Jared Goff, hey, why don't we let's extend Jared Goff for the next 3 years. Why don't we give him $150 million for the next 3 years? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
there's 4 quarterbacks in the NFL right now that are getting $50 million a year. Is Jared Goff as good as Jalen Hurts? Anyone?
No.
Is Jared Goff as good as Lamar Jackson?
No.
Is he as good as Justin Herbert?
No.
Is he as good as Joe Burrow?
No.
Patrick Mahomes?
No.
Okay.
Kyler Murray?
Now that's where you can start getting into the conversation because Kyler Murray's at 46.
Russell Wilson?
So you can get into this $45 million.
Deshaun Watson?
Exactly. But that's $45 million. That's where the difference from a 55, 50 to 45 is.
You're right.
So there's these people who are on Twitter and all these internet trolls who are like, hey, why don't we just give him $50 million and just throw our money away so we can't re-sign Aiden Hutchinson? Let's be realistic here. I want Jared Goff in Detroit the next 3 years. Don't want to give him $50 million.
I do.
You would, Jalen?
So he's on the level of Jalen Hurts to you then? He's on that level to you.
I bet you will make it farther than Jalen Hurts does.
Jalen Hurts already went to a Super Bowl with his team.
Well, we're gonna go. You know.
Come on, Jalen.
Pause. We got a caller. We're gonna get back to the trending news.
Hope
but
it's not
Nick,
Reggie.
If it's Reggie,
it ain't Reggie. It is Cash who's been talking it up in the chat.
Let's go.
Cash from Atlanta. What do you got?
Boy,
Cash, thanks so much for calling.
Appreciate you
tuning
in.
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Thanks for calling. We appreciate your perspective. You are a Falcons fan, I believe.
Yeah.
And we appreciate it. Let's have a little discussion here. What do you want to talk about?
Can I ask you a quick question too, real quick?
Go ahead.
I've seen you in the chat all day. Honest opinion, I want to see what your thoughts are on this Detroit Lions and this this matchup, because I know you obviously as a fan you're gonna talk and back your team, but what is your honest opinion here with the Lions in this matchup?
Well, before Sunday, I didn't even know nothing about the Lions really.
But I hear I got all these injuries on defense, and then our defense is elite right now. I don't believe I can do nothing with us.
Yeah, which is fair. That defense is good. I watched the game today. You guys' defense is, I mean, you guys added pieces to that. I think I saw there was like 5 or 6 new starters added to that Falcons defense.
We spent $100 million this offseason
on the defense. Now, I want to ask you too on the other side of the ball, because my biggest worry was Ritter, and I'm sure you could admit he threw a couple bad passes that should have been picked off. Is that a worry for you as a Falcons fan? Are you guys all in on Ritter, or is that something going into even this game where you're like, he's made some mistakes? He does keep getting a little bit better each game, but where are you at with that?
Well, this is 7th start. He's going to get better and better as the season goes, so it ain't no problem.
Fair.
That's fair.
Last question for you, Cash. What is the vibe like in Atlanta around this team? A, and then B, Bijan Robinson. It's a topic of conversation we have a lot in Detroit because of the Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson conversation with the draft. So what do you and the city of Atlanta feel like with this team?
Playoff or bust.
You think they're the best?
Playoffs or bust.
Oh, playoffs or bust.
It's like that for the Detroit Lions, so I think it's a good matchup. Cash, real quick, easy on the heavyweights. I know you were in the heavyweights chat. He proposed to you a deal here in the chat real quick, and if we can get it live on air, you guys to agree on this. He said, Cash, if the Lions win, you got to buy one of the Woodward heavyweight shirt, and if the Lions lose, he'll buy a Falcons hat and wear it all next week. Is that a deal?
Oh, yeah. We can do that.
All right, I love it.
Book it.
I think we have a new Woodward sports fan in Cash, man. We appreciate you tuning in all week.
Cash, we appreciate it. Thanks for calling. Dude, Atlanta, the hype in Atlanta is real for this team. They're 2-0. I think that's one of 7 teams. Wild. If there are any other Atlanta Falcons fans out there or Detroit Lions fans, give us a ring.
And shout out Cash for calling. He's been in the chat, but he did say he didn't know anything about the Detroit Lions team.
He didn't give an adequate response.
Cash, I don't know if he's lying or not, because they were like the most hyped team in the offseason in the NFL. So, I guess it's just fans. But no, Cash is the man, like Easy said in there. I'm excited for this bet. Imagine Cash buying a Woodward Sports and we get a picture of Cash in a Woodward Sports heavyweights shirt. That'd be sick.
We'll see. One of my last little trending around the NFL topic, it actually involves a little bit of basketball.
Oh, yes.
Because the most recent Hall of Fame nominees include 2 former ballers, Julius Peppers and Antonio Gates. They're headlining their first-time nominees for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. There are also 2 former Lions on the list. But Peppers, I don't know if you guys remember because you guys are so young.
I got you.
No, I know, Jalen, you got him. Julius Peppers, he was a stud. He was the 2nd overall pick out of North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
At defensive end.
I know who Julius Peppers is.
Julius Peppers is stud. He went on to the Carolina Panthers, drafted in 2022.
Yeah.
He had 12 sacks as a rookie in his rookie year, and he never slowed down. And then we got Antonio Gates, who sort of changed I believe he was one of those players who changed the way the tight end position was played.
Yeah.
And Travis Kelce actually shouted him out. I think it was on his podcast with Jason Kelce about Antonio Gates kind of paving the way for tight ends like that. More catches, more targets, not just blocking.
I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
So was this? They're in the hall. They're
nominees. So this is their first time. Their first time nominees.
Do you know who else is a nominee?
I do.
TJ Lang.
He is the former Lion, former
TJ
Brother Rice.
Lang is a nominee.
Brother Rice Warriors.
Yep, that would be
Antonio
sweet.
Gates is from here too.
Is he?
Yeah, Antonio Gates is from here, man.
Oh, he is from Detroit, isn't he?
TJ Lang.
State now, yeah.
He went to Kent State.
Yeah, shout out Antonio Gates, man.
That's right. So other first-timers include Brandon Marshall, wide receiver Brandon Marshall, Jordy Nelson, Jamal Charles. You said TJ Lang. Haloti Nagata. There's another Lion.
Baltimore Ravens.
How about this? Finalists from the 2022 re-nominated Devin Hester, Torrey Holt, Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne, Willie Anderson, Jared Allen, Dwight Freeney, Patrick Willis, and Darren Woodson. That's a
nasty list. I like that list.
That is a loaded
now,
list.
This is just nominees, right?
Yes.
So
yeah,
how many end up getting in? That's a good question.
I want to say 3 or 4. Do you know?
It depends because like I know like last year was like 4, but like I've seen like lists with like 5 or so, maybe 6, but like
I know a couple years ago,
depending on like what
there
it
was
is,
double.
like who has the most votes, they go like 4. But I think Devin Hester, I think he should go. That's a wild card take, but I think he should go.
Hey, in the chat, Easy said, who has better hair, Jeff or Broder? I do want to say, now that I think about
Broder.
that, can we put the camera on Broder real quick? Broder and Jeff have the exact same haircut.
What?
It's
I
kind
got
of
a haircut today.
It's kind of creepy.
But Broder's is better though, right?
Oh yeah, well, yeah,
Loyal,
on the night show, but I don't know. I think they have the exact same hairstyle.
Broder, you're looking great, man. And shout out TJ Lang and the Eastern Michigan University football team out of EMU. TJ Lang.
I forgot about that. Went from Brother Rice to Eastern Michigan to. He was at the
Shout
Packers
out,
first,
Nick.
right? The Packers.
Yeah.
Packers, yeah.
That is
For a while,
awesome.
I think.
Steve Wilds, thank you. Maybe we need a chat poll. Poll that. He said, Britt from I poll that. While we do that, we're going to get that poll up. But Booner, can you tell them about Big Boy? Like TJ Lang. Big Boy.
He's a big boy. Let's go, boys. Big Boy burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. It is burger time. Try the best cheeseburger or the new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Look at it up there. Are you craving chicken? Try the Dolly chicken sandwich or turn up the heat with the Bob's hot chicken sandwich. Upgrade your fries to chili cheese fries, loaded baked potato fries. Or if you have some room for some dessert, indulge in the new Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake and satisfy your sweet tooth with the funnel cake fries over at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder.
Play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf. It's downtown's newest sports bar that has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and more importantly, a full bar and restaurant. You can mention promo code Woodward, wait for this, at checkout for 50% off your first visit at visit5irongolf.com to tee up good times. So whether you're a serious golfer like D-Mac or you're just there for a good time like Flannel Sam, 5 Iron is the spot for you. That is 5iron.com. 5 Iron Golf. Man, I screwed that up.
You did.
5irongolf.com to tee up good times. There we go.
Welcome back to Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner, joined as always with Matthew Broder, Detroit Lions beat reporter for the Woodward Sports Network. We've got Jalen in the booth, and we've got Nick in the booth as well here.
Let's go.
If you guys can, real quick, make sure you hit that like button and tell a friend about the program here. Please, 8 to 10 every single night. Well, weekdays. But we would love for you guys to tune in and tell people to come tune in and to keep growing this show. But hit that like button for us, please. Let's get to 80 before the end of this segment. We are going to go a little bit more around the NFL, but during the break, 2 breaks ago, Nick did. And if you guys want to call in, the number is 313-552-6322. If you want to call in just a little bit about the Detroit Lions, talk about if it's a must-win, whatever you guys want to talk about the Detroit Lions.
And if you're going to talk shit, know about the other team.
Yeah.
Keep cooking, bro. Anything else you got to say?
Cash.
Oh, I'm just saying, call. I was flustered. If you're going to call in, you're going to talk shit. You need to know a little bit about the team you're
Cash
going
said
against.
he said I'm here. But I do want to real quick too, and I'm gonna go off of the tracks here a little bit. Because with you, we've already talked a little bit about the injuries, and Nick two breaks ago on the break, he mentioned to us, hey, you guys want to maybe talk about the offensive line a little bit?
Always want to talk about them.
Let's combine these two things real quick if we're waiting for a caller.
Combine them.
We talked about Jahmyr Gibbs versus Bijan Robinson, but at the same time, I did bring up the stat where I felt like Jahmyr Gibbs had a better week 1 than week 2, and it was a drastic running the ball, and we had a healthy offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
this week, and I want to see where, on a scale 1 to 10, you're a beat reporter. What's your confidence level to get a guy like Taylor Decker back in there? And if not, what is your confidence level in this run game if you're with Matt Nelson and Graham Glasgow again?
So I'm 50-50 on if Taylor Decker is going to play or not. We just don't know. I hope he plays. I think he's going to. There is a chance with these 2 games coming up, Sunday and then Thursday, they might just try to hold him out for one more weekend. But if he plays, I have no worry at all about the run game and about this offensive line. I have all the confidence in Graham Glasgow stepping up and filling in for Halapoulivaati Vaitai. The problem is if Taylor Decker's out, it changes everything. And we have the Lions have the massive benefit of having Penei Sewell on the roster, and he can move from left tackle to right tackle, which actually Jared Goff talked about in his interview in the locker room. Maybe I can find that while you're talking. But Penei Sewell moving over there is great, but there's nothing against Matt Nelson. It is a downgrade going from Penei Sewell to Matt Nelson, and that changes how you structure the game plan and how you're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs. You might use him less in the run game with that right tackle, with Penei Sewell not at right tackle and Matt Nelson there. So what do you think?
Well, Penei did mention it too as well in that same press conference we played earlier. He did mention that when you do have a new guy come in, and especially for him, when you move to that left side, just getting that field down for a different side of the ball and other guys around you, it changes a little bit, and you have to kind of get that down. And being back that one game on the left side of the ball, just a little bit different, and you could tell like you have to make that adjustment. Obviously, you can get as many, and they probably got as many reps as they could all together at different positions with different guys next to them as they could. But he even said it. He was like, one, I need to step up and I need to make those plays. I need to win my one-on-one battles, which he said he didn't. There were some that he didn't. And he said, two, I got to get a feel for my hands. I got to get a feel for kind of his feet in that left tackle spot. And I got to get a feel for the guys that are around me now instead of that other side. So he does it with Vaitai. So I think it's week 2 if it does come down to it and you're sitting there with Penei on the left side still and Matt Nelson. I think it might be a little bit better than last week just because of that. Like they've been doing it for 2
100%.
weeks now. They've got that feel down. And when you switch instantly like that, I'm sure that takes a little bit of time to feel that.
100%.
Steve Wild said, "Why so serious, Booner?" I'm sorry. I got to be serious some segments, right? But real quick, I don't know. Do we have a caller, Nick? No caller. Real quick, I'm going to tell you guys, though, real quick about our Woodward and Maine show, which our own Matthew Broder is on it. It is our Lions Insider Show, Woodward and Maine, hosted by Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and the Detroit legend Terry Foster. Tuesdays, 7 to 8 a.m. and Sundays, 8 to 9 a.m. Make sure you guys tune in for all the Detroit Lions insider information, all the news you need for players, everything. It's on Sundays, 8 to 9, so right before the game on the Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Jalen,
I want it.
Could you play that Jared Goff interview on Jahmyr Gibbs? I believe it was the first one in the Slack channel. He just talks a little bit about what his confidence in Jahmyr Gibbs, if you got that teed up.
I mean, I think back all the way to OTAs with him, like just his growth and, his route running ability, obviously, and his catching ability has gotten so much better and continues to get better. And then just, obviously him off the ball and seeing his vision get better as time has gone on. And, he's a hell of a talent, a guy we rely on, and I think he's done a really good job through his first 2 games.
Man, first of all, look at that camera work.
Zing!
Who's behind the camera there? Great camera work.
Shout out, Broder.
Gotta get that angle. I just love Jared Goff. He's got confidence in his guys. We've seen his leadership just start to ooze out of his veins more the more he talks to the media, and he still holds some stuff back.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see him give a little love to Jahmyr Gibbs. Just reaffirm that he is a player they all believe in moving forward.
I truly do believe that, and this is why I remember earlier in the show I said I'm getting that feeling about the all of the hype that the guys or people were giving the quarterback over in Chicago, to where everyone's freaking out right now in Detroit about Jahmyr Gibbs and kind of overreacting a little bit. I think like you see Jared Goff's talked about it, Dan Campbell's talked about, Jahmyr's even talked about it. I don't even think did we play any Jahmyr videos?
We didn't.
Can we real quick? I just want you guys to see the confidence that Jahmyr has. It's about a minute video, and then we'll go into break right after. But just listening to Jahmyr Gibbs, the confidence he has, even talking about Bijan Robinson, and can he be the best player on the field? This guy has confidence. Jared Goff has confidence in him, and Dan Campbell has confidence in him. Jalen, if you want to throw that up real quick.
Kind of motivate you a little bit in the process of having another, running back in your same class as well.
I mean, I'm only focused on myself, with my ability, what I can do, what I can control. So, but I do pay attention to them. I do watch them because my boys, so I'm always going to support them.
So you want to be the best rookie running back on the field Sunday?
Huh?
You motivated to be the best rookie running back on the
yeah,
field?
of course. I'm always motivated to be the best player I can be. So.
You excited about a potential Ford opportunity too? I know we talked about that last week a little bit too, but David going with obviously the Griffins and stuff. Get a little bit more excited about that opportunity to play a little bit more, show a little bit more, carry the ball.
Yeah. You always get excited when you get to play some more and touch the ball somewhere. So I'll be pretty happy with that.
What has David said to you maybe this week, knowing that you might have some more opportunities?
He's told me to just be me. Told me I've done a great job so far. Basically saying keep me whatever I need help. So he'll help me do that question.
I know he doesn't talk very loud, but he does have more confidence, more personality coming out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys remember his interview on the night he got drafted. He's getting more confident, and I hope we're going to start to see that coming out of his game too.
I think we will.
Tell him about that line that you wanted to call out.
The best one is when he got asked. They said, "Do you want to be the best rookie running back on the field?" Obviously, we know he's going to say yeah, but he came out and said, "Yeah, of course I do. Like I want to be the best guy on that field, not just the best rookie running back. I want to be the best weapon on the field." I do think that, and I know Peaceful Tim in there. I saw something he commented and said, "I just want to see it." We all do, but it will come. We have to understand and realize. Like I know. He was the 12th overall pick, but it will. He will start to make plays. This week he's the running back one. This is the week for him to do it. So if you want to be like Jahmyr Gibbs and get jacked, or actually not jacked, but if you want to get a haircut like me, wrong ad. But if you want to get a haircut like me, beautiful haircut. I love this haircut. Go over to Lady Jane's. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That is right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It is wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live this Sunday for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market again, Shed 5, and it's going to be a bash. It starts at 9:30 a.m. until kickoff. It's the official Lions tailgate, and it's back and better than ever. So, how would you like to pregame with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? I'm telling you, we got food, beverages, and entertainments all included in your tickets that you can get at bullseyeeventgroup.com. Or, last thing, you can enter to win some from Woodward Sports. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, and direct message us on Instagram, Lions VIP.
Welcome back to Woodward Nights. My name is Booner. Woodward Nights with Booner and Broder. My name is Booner. Sit next to the one, the only Matthew Broder with the fresh haircut there and the stash.
21 Savage, like Tracy Tracy Walker's
Oh
chain.
my gosh.
He's on fire again!
We've got Jalen in the TD booth. We got Nick in the sound booth. And if you guys can, drop your questions below. Let's hit mailbag here real quick. Make sure we hit the mailbag. First question
Got
here.
the first one, Boone.
Britt from IA. Mailbag, is this the week we see the rookies, Jack Campbell and Jahmyr Gibbs, let loose?
This is why you drafted Jack Campbell. Let him loose and let him stop that Atlanta Falcons run game. Nick. I see you nodding.
Was that a yeah or no?
That was a yeah.
You gotta unleash the boys. Come on, 12 and 18. First rounders. This is time. Desmond Ritter can run the ball as well. Jack Campbell, better lock him down on it.
What do you think, Boone?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know about Jack Campbell. I hopefully that he gets more reps. I think I saw someone in the chat one of the shows today say that his usage was like, I don't know, maybe it was like 28%, not even that. I don't know.
Wasn't so high.
But it did not seem like he's getting snaps. So hopefully they're starting to move things around, especially with the way that those linebackers played in covered passes. And you have two kind of really good tight ends, I think. I think Jack Campbell can cover a little bit. Maybe you throw him out there and let him see what he can do. I have one more here.
I'll send it.
And this is for you, Arthur Smith, right next to me. Does anybody in the room own non-Detroit jerseys? If so, whom? I have an Eagles Reggie White, Packers Brett Favre, Diamondbacks Randy Johnson. Much love, guys. Appreciate you, the away fan.
I like that.
The away fan. I do.
Arthur
and
Smith?
Jalen's got to get in on this. Do I have an Arthur Smith uniform jersey?
No, you look like Arthur Smith with that stash.
No disrespect whatsoever. But
He's rocking the stash all year long.
I do. I have a lot of Michigan. I have a lot of some Pistons uniforms. But the one that I can think of, I have a Penny Hardaway Orlando Magic uniform. Picked it up at the Salvation Army a couple years ago. That thing is sweet. Penny Hardaway. I'm going to go to Jalen before you, Booner, because Jalen has jerseys.
I don't have any jerseys outside
I got a whole bunch of jerseys.
Detroit.
I got TV jerseys. I got, movie jerseys. I think I got
like two or three that come to your mind first.
I got a Sean Taylor, rest in peace.
That's nice.
I got a Miami jersey, not a Redskins, a Miami one. I have a
7th Floor Crew.
Yeah, I got a Coach Carter jersey from the movie. I got that one. That's my top 10. And my third one is my Drake jersey. I got a Degrassi jersey.
That's you got a Degrassi jersey?
Yeah, that's my 3. That's my top 3
Shots
for sure.
fired.
We got to link up, man, for some jersey talk, man.
Next question in your mailbag, Booner. Is it true that I told you Texans were going to lose? Yeah, they lost. I lost. But when I remember what I said, when I lose, I still win.
Real quick, by the way, the fact that he's got Reggie White, Brett Favre's kind of a scumbag, but Randy Johnson, those are some nice jerseys, some nice uniforms.
Who gets the first sack of 2023 sack, Campbell or Hutchinson?
I can't believe we're talking
if
about
that
this in week 3.
happens, man, and Jack Campbell gets a sack before Hutchinson, I don't know. We're going to have to sit down with
Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
It's going to be Hutch. Come on.
I don't know. It might be Hutch.
I think we bring the pressure with Campbell a couple times, like maybe through the middle. I think we need to bring pressure against Ritter as well. We just sat back with 4 way too often, like rush 4. We need pressure on the quarterback. Make him make mistakes.
And real quick, I forgot to say on it when we came in from the break. Make sure you guys hit that like button. We have over 100 people watching, 80 likes. If we can get to 100 here in the next 2 or 3 minutes, everyone right now listening, just smack it real quick.
Everyone. By the way, I think it's going to be Brian Branch. Going to get that first sack of the year.
32 sack the room.
100.
Well, there's already been a sack.
Okay. Oh, Alex Anzalone
I think the question
You're right.
was who gets their
You're
first
right.
sack.
I
Jack
forgot
Campbell
about Anzalone's stat.
Yeah, I like what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But, IT Hips, do you guys think the Lions will have a lot of Bugs and Martin on the D line against the Falcons? I say Bugs, yes. I think he plays Sunday.
There needs to be one of the two.
Something, right?
Has to be one of the two, right?
I would think. I think you have to change something up. You have to do something different.
I think it's got to be Bugs,
especially if you haven't gotten to the quarterback at all.
Coach Walk has a Chuck Nevitt Pistons warm-up coat and a Scott Mitchell Lions jersey. That's epic. Rich Diana picked Kaminsky as a possible sack candidate. I want a Mighty Ducks jersey so bad. Colton's cardboard. I think Jalen has a Mighty Ducks one.
I got a Charlie Conway and I got a Goldberg one.
Oh, Goldberg. What about Banks? Do you have Banks?
I do have Banks. I have it. It's black though. I have a black one.
Oh, okay. Cake eater.
Peaceful. Hey, shout out Charles Harris.
Cake eater.
Shout out Charles Harris.
For what?
Charles Harris.
Just shouting him out. Peaceful Tim said someone needs to shout him out just because it feels like no one knows he's still on the team. Shout out Charles Harris.
Yeah, because he doesn't do anything.
He's there, though. Shout out Charles Harris.
Shout out. Big week coming up.
Dude, the away friend, Brett Favre was
14 likes
legit growing. I mean, he is one of the best quarterbacks ever. It's this post-football. Actually, it happened when he went to New York to the Jets. Bad move. Quarterbacks going from Green Bay to New York Jets. The more I think about it. Yeah.
Uncle Neil's soft beat. I have a Dan Campbell jersey from the 0-16 team. That's awesome.
That's epic.
I would love to get that jersey.
That's epic.
That would be sick. A Dan Campbell jersey. I might look to see if I can buy a Dan Campbell jersey.
Do either of you except for Jalen know what the 7th floor crew is at Miami?
Party night at a hotel, 7th floor?
No,
he's
no.
close.
All right, I'll give you guys some homework. We're gonna go home. You guys are gonna do a little bit of research.
Watch
Actually,
the
maybe go to YouTube. Get a little video. There's a music video.
It's a guy there, Greg Olson. He was a part of that.
Yeah. Oh, I've heard of this. When you say Greg Olson,
we can't say it on air, but it was a fun time.
You can't.
I 100% know exactly what you guys are talking about now.
But
I've heard Greg Olson talk about it. But yeah,
this is it.
It's that
Wednesday.
time, boys. It's 10 o'clock. If you guys can hit that like button one last time, we're 13 away from 100. We'd love to hit that. We've got 113 watching. Appreciate you all for tuning in a ton.
Thank you.
We love all of you guys. We're going to be here every single weekday from 8 to 10 with the chain on. Maybe not the chain every night, but we will be here tomorrow. We will see you guys tomorrow. Love you all. Tune in 8 to 10 tomorrow for some Woodward Nights. Thank you guys. Love you.
Toodles, my G.